Alrighty, hello everybody. Welcome to another Facebook Live that we do here every week. And today we are excited to have one of our very own guests from our group. My name is Tom Baby Workis. I'm a partner of Dr. Noah Liu. We both started this group about 2 years ago, and it's grown to over 10,000 members. And it's very interesting to find some people who are doing creative stuff in the group, and we'd like to bring them on once in a while. And today we're going to have an exciting story from Dr. Michael Nguyen, and he's going to share how exciting his journey has been in real estate. I started with nothing, nothing meaning in real estate, with no idea about real estate about 5 years ago. And today I've built up a portfolio of multifamily storage units, industrial, etc. And that's what we talk here. We teach you guys how you can do it. If you want to partner with somebody, partner with us. That's up to you. But our whole job is education, and that's where we're going to go today. And let me pass the mic to Dr. Noah Liu. He'll take it from there and do the intro.
Hey, thanks a lot, Tom. So excited today because I've been after this guy for a while, Dr. Michael Nguyen, and this guy is, one thing that attracted to him to me was that he is flipping houses, and we had a deal that popped up in Houston. This was about a few weeks ago, and some of you guys must have seen that picture. But unfortunately, the deal went south because the HOA decided to break the house down and not sell it. So that was a bummer for us. But it would have been a great deal if we would have had our hands on and renovated it and flipped it over. So today, I know we do syndications. We talk a lot about passive investment, but today I want to do something different, and I would like to pick the brain of this guy here. He's a dentist, right? Dentist by trade,
Yes. Yes.
and so this is not impossible, guys. Like we keep talking about, like investing in real estate, right? This is not impossible because even he is doing it, being a full time practitioner and being chairside as well as trying to do this stuff here on the side. So without further ado, hey Doc, let's go. I'm going to kick it off to you. Let's introduce yourself. What do you do? How long you've been doing it? And what's your specialty in real estate?
Yeah. No, thanks, Tom. Thanks, Noel. My name's Michael Nguyen. I'm a dentist and a professor at California North State University over in Sacramento area. Brand new
Damn,
school.
and a professor. Okay. So you took all the excuses out.
Yeah, it's
All right, let's go. Let's go.
rewarding. And I only started my real estate journey mid of 2023. So maybe like a year of actual flipping, year and a half of actually learning real estate.
Nice.
I got into flipping mainly because it's one, a high or like a pretty rapid cash turnaround period. Secondly, the returns can be pretty good if underwritten correctly and you have a good team. And third, I think just because I'm relatively young in my dental career, I don't have a ton of income or savings to invest in a long term and lock up for
Right.
7 years, however long syndications are. So I'm taking a semi-active route, is what I would like to call it. Semi-active meaning, we could get into the weeds of it, but per week, I'm probably thinking about it, or at least actually at the site, maybe a couple hours a week at most.
Mm.
Both my projects at the same time. It's in my head, but that's just kind of business ownership anyway. Um, and I got into it from a group coaching mentorship program from a full-time flipper in the Bay Area, who's done it full-time for 7 years now and started coaching students. And I just really believed in the coaching model, learned the reps, and got done my first project middle of 2024 with a pretty good return. Now I'm on project 2 and 3 with a lot of learning lessons along the way. So hopefully getting my reps in and then able to scale up and do bigger projects.
So that was one of my biggest questions for you. How are you finding the time for this, and how much of a time are you dedicating per week to this?
Yeah. So how am I finding time and how much time does it take? All that. Like I said, how much time it takes per week once you actually have a project. If you have a good team, honestly, I'm 1 to 2 hours a week tops. And usually during slightly longer lunches, or I just meet the contractor or agent, whoever I'm working with, kind of like after hours, like after
Mhm.
5 p.m. hits, and I drive over to the project.
So you're a dentist by day and flipper by night.
Yes, that's the goal. Just trying to do what I can. And
Mm.
I think the hard part really is finding the project, and I'm sure you guys know from commercial, just
Yes.
getting a deal. That's
But are you the one that's owning that property 100%, or is there other partners involved?
I'm the only person on the hard money personal guarantee. So basically, right under my LLC only.
Got it.
Okay, so you're the only guy, basically. I mean, you're LLC. There's no other partners involved. Okay, so you have to hire the contractor, the all the other stuff related to. Okay.
Yeah, I manage everything from the acquisition to everything except the sale, really, because I have an agent that helps me sell
Wow.
properties.
And it only take a couple hours a week?
Especially when you are in the project, a couple hours a week tops. But I think finding the project is what takes the longest time. Where you're like
Mhm.
networking, scoping out properties. You might be driving a lot more, and even then, to admit, like at first I started scoping out or outreaching to other agents or brokers in the area myself through email then calls. But eventually, oh, sorry, I need to turn on the light real quick. Okay. Um, the school campus has automatic motion detection, but eventually I hired a virtual assistant to help send emails and schedule calls for
Oh,
me
nice.
at I think it was a pay rate of about $7 an hour. But then it
That's
just
awesome.
saved me like 30 hours of my life a week.
Right.
Um,
Mhm.
So I think the outreach part could take as little or as long as you want. But once I hired the VA, they helped me
That's
source
smart.
2 deals really quickly, and then
That's smart.
yeah. So acquisition phase, time could be like who knows how long, whatever time you got. But then the actual in the project, in the weeds, a couple hours a week.
All right,
Um,
Okay.
so let's dive right into the weeds, man. So you got the space. Let's say you got a deal done. Walk us through the steps. Like, what are you doing? Let's say, is it like wholesale or is it somebody selling? Is it short? Is it like a short sale? What's going on here?
yeah, for the actual acquisition, the model I was taught and what I pursued was basically putting my name out there to as many real estate agents and brokers in the Sacramento area as possible.
Beautiful.
Phone calls, emails, what have you. And the only deal, and also wholesalers too, like really reaching out to everyone. But really, the only deals that I've actually penciled have been fully off market exclusive deals that these agents have in their pocket, also called
Yep.
pocket listings. I'm not sure if that term's used in other realms of real estate, but I think I just make good rapport, and then they call me as soon as they say like, "Hey, this person I know has to sell this house fast. I want to take a look, need some fixing." And those are the only deals that I've actually penciled out to actually make sense on paper, especially with hard money financing. Um, and then, yeah, as soon as we acquire it, hopefully flip it within 3 to 4 months. Um, so, yeah,
And then so basically you're finding the property, renovating it, listing it, and selling. So are these properties that you're finding, are they in bad shape? Are they in bad condition? What is the situation? Are they like regular homes? How are you making profit?
yeah, the most of the homes so far, I mean, I say most, it's only been three. One's been from a deceased family member that was in kind of like a hoarder house. Bones
Wow.
were good,
Mm.
but we still kind of restructured it to make it nice and pretty. Second project, this guy was mid renovation himself, so half the house was in studs. But I think because of financing and just life, he had to abort the project. So that house was basically in studs for half of it. And then third house was just they were trying to get rid of an old house that was had solid bones. I wouldn't say torn down, but definitely needs some refreshing. And where the spread comes is that we hopefully get the deal at about I'd say like 60 to 65% of resale value, and then try to just put in, if I'm being frank, as little as possible, but as little to accomplish the image or the
Right.
aesthetic that we need for a flip in the area to match all the comparables. And usually the spread and then the commissions as well. So then the spread can be pretty healthy. It just depends on how well we buy it.
Got it. Got it.
If
That's
you if
that's
you
cool.
don't mind us asking, what are you making average on each deal?
Yeah, I'd say if I could do based off projections as I underwrite conservatively. If I'm just using like a straight up cash on cash number, my target's usually anywhere between like the 60 to 70% range. Meaning like, if within the 4 months I have to lock in 100K, usually I underwrite to predictably make like 60 to 70K by the end of that 4 months.
So how much are you putting into these deals? Like, are you coming up with the entire cash, or are you taking some financing, loans? What is the deal?
Yeah, the only financing I do is hard money loans.
Mm.
I just connected with a broker who does residential, commercial, but a lot of residential. And this hard money loan allows me to put 10% down on the equity. They fully fund the rehab, and I
Mhm.
only pay the interest on the rehab as soon as I actually get reimbursed for whatever amount I actually use for the rehab.
That's
So
nice.
yeah, and I think to give people an idea, like my first project where I was basically 100K out of pocket, um, including about 20 to 30K of financing,
Mm.
and after commissions and rehab and all that stuff, then you know I think because I had some learning lessons on my first flip, I netted about 50 on that first one.
So you sold it for how much?
Yeah, so I bought it for 475, sold it for about 767, um,
Okay.
and the rehab on that one was about 135,
Hmm.
somewhere in that range.
Okay.
Take out the financing, commissions, and all that, netting about 50.
Oh, cool. Okay, good, good. And that was in a time period of how long?
That one was 4 months.
4 months. Okay, cool.
Um,
Makes sense.
yeah,
Okay. Hmm.
and I think especially with that first one, I was learning a lot more active. But with my second and third ones now, um, I've kind of just I'm starting to visit a little bit less because I don't need to as much. But still checking in on the contractor and texting, visiting here and there.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's you're in California, so does that? I know these prices. I mean, home prices are pretty expensive over there in the Bay Area, especially. But Sacramento, I think, is not that expensive. Are these homes or condos? Or
All single family homes.
okay,
Um,
cool.
really, for the main reason that my flip mentor said that those are the best for actual appreciation
Yeah,
and resale.
appreciation of to find buyers and stuff, right? How what would you rate the neighborhoods as? Are they
Yeah.
top neighborhoods or middle? What is the deal?
Yeah. My first one, I'd say, was like a pretty good top neighborhood. My second and third ones, we're using like the ABC. I'd say they're probably like Class B
Mhm.
neighborhoods. I think fortunately for Sacramento, it stayed like a pretty overall hot market just with its proximity to the Bay Area.
Mhm.
A lot of Bay
Mhm.
Area people moving out to Sacramento area. So then we've been pretty, I guess, insulated from all these macro trends around the country where some markets are like slowing down for single family and whatnot. So I think we're pretty lucky to be in California flipping. But you're right, Sacramento is kind of like a middle cost of living area, so the houses aren't super expensive,
Yeah,
but not cheap by
yeah,
any
it's
means.
not that crazy like Bay Area, right?
Yeah, but I think what I've learned honestly is that the more expensive the area, the more you can make flipping. So I'm trying to actually go for more expensive projects going to the future
Well,
because
you can make more money on those, the more expensive ones, basically, right? So what you
yeah,
said?
yeah, because the rehab is going to stay the same price no matter what. But then the
Yeah.
spread that I've seen only grows and grows the bigger the market is. And for an example, just so you two know, whoever's listening, I'm projecting anywhere from like 50 to 70K each flip, or even like 40 to
Mhm.
70. But someone else in my flip cohort just made 280 off a flip in the Bay Area.
Oh
Mm.
wow,
You know,
wow.
it's like, and that tells me I need to go to a bigger market.
And you being conservative there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he's
All
a
right, man.
Wow.
So tell me something real quick here. Like a lot of guys, they want to get started with this stuff here, and they're like, I don't know where to start from. What's your advice?
yeah. Honestly, I think it's more about who you know than like what you know. And I think having foundations and just like reading real estate listening helps a lot. But then just having someone to either bounce ideas off of or kind of just show you the ropes is probably going to be the biggest first step.
Okay.
I'm sure for you guys too, for people trying to learn about syndications and multifamily, for example, they're probably asking you a lot of questions. But I think finding
Yeah.
someone to just bounce ideas off, and then honestly, if I think a lot of people on the page are probably practicing dentists or other
Yeah.
type of care people,
And they're
like
all busy, right? They're all busy.
Yeah.
They don't have time for this.
yeah. And I'm like, honestly, if you can do that, I feel like at least house flipping is not rocket science. You know, But the thing is, it's
Yeah,
risky, and I feel like
it
people in health
is.
aren't used to risk, because we took a really predictable career, you know?
Mm.
Right.
But I think step 1, find someone to talk to and ask questions, and step 2, really, as long as you start moving instead of thinking, like making calls to agents, making calls to contractors, and start, like, doing,
I
then
think that's huge.
thinking too much. That's if I'm being blunt, I feel like that's all it takes to get started, and then you can
Yeah.
finesse the rest as you go, you know?
No, I
Um,
love it. I love it because you're teaching, you are practicing, and you're doing this. So let's really briefly walk us through the steps. So let's say you found a property, you found a deal. Um, how long, and what are the steps for you to do from, let's say, finding a deal to closing and putting it under your belt? Like everything from financing to due diligence, the whole nine yard.
yeah. So if I'm just breaking down the steps for flipping, I'd say a lot of the work comes, or at least a lot of the steps come right before you actually sign the papers to own the property. Like, I think
Okay.
the biggest legwork, like I mentioned, is networking with people to get actually good deals. You know, MLS deals probably won't get you a good spread at all.
Mm.
Actually talking to contractors and then visiting their active sites. Um, like, I would call a few contractors in the area, ask for referrals, and I'd visit their properties that they're working on just to make sure, like, yes, all the outlets are actually straight, or they actually take pride in their work, or they're doing good quality work. And that just helps me select all the people, because really it's the people that run the house flip. I'm just the one that's kind of like quarterbacking it, for lack of a better word.
Sure.
But then once I actually find a property with an agent that looks like he'll pencil out, step 1 would be to get the contractor that I have a good feeling about, or maybe a couple, to go inside the house, give me a really rough ballpark with the vision that I have in mind of, yes, we're adding a bathroom here, or we're just updating fixture for fixture, just modernizing the house. Kind of having sharing them with them a really rough idea of what I want. Once I have those estimates and kind of have a better idea of what the rehab will look like, I immediately contact almost any hard money lender, but I just work with the same guy for every single one. He's giving me better terms every single time. Um, and honestly, just trying to go through that paperwork is really fast and easy. It takes about a week, maybe.
Is it approval pretty easy to get in these hard money loans?
Yeah, pre-approval, especially for a dentist, is really easy. And then approving on the loan, if you're underwriting well and conservatively, it's almost certain you'll get approved.
Okay.
Like, I
And
actually,
is it and is it a personal guarantee that you're signing?
it's a personal guarantee.
And is it on the property as well? The property
And
is
it's not a problem.
the collateral. Okay.
Yes. Hmm. So there's a lot of protection for the lender, and I know personal guarantees sound really scary, but at least in my head, since it's tied to an actual asset, it's not like a live asset. It's not as
Right.
it's just not as daunting for me. Um,
And what kind of rates are we talking here?
yeah, I haven't checked in the last few months, but my latest closing was back in February. At that time, I was paying 1.5 points on the loan size, 11% annualized,
11.
11.
That's
Yes.
pretty cheap, I think, for hard money loan.
Yeah, I know it ranges anywhere from like 10 to,
15.
it's
Yeah.
mid-teens, but I think because this is the third time I've worked with this guy, so then
Yeah.
he's
Probably
been
that's
deep
why.
creeping every
Yeah.
time. Yeah. Um, so what was it? Yes, and then about 11%, 1.5 points, and he says next time I
So
can even
you pay the 1.5% upfront.
correct upfront.
Okay.
Yep. And that's really a lot of the financing cost is just those points.
Yeah.
Hopefully next time I get closer to 1 point. um,
Okay.
and then once the actual house is acquired, I go through with my wife, who's kind of like our designer. You know, we just like we just make a whole list of what each room needs. Like, this room needs new tile, new shower wall, new curtain rod, whatever. And we just
Your
start.
wife has got the design eye then.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
do.
that helps a lot. So that's really needed in these kind of projects, because if you don't have the eye for design,
Hmm.
you need to hire an interior designer or something like that, right?
I would say so. The other flippers that I've talked to, they're just on Pinterest a lot, and they might just have a little more of an inclination towards that. But What has also helped me in certain cases is networking with other flippers in the area, and also just following Instagram channels of other flippers to see what they're using. And honestly, everyone's a lot more collaborative than I think people think. I just ask them like, "Oh, where'd you get that vanity?" And then tell me, "Oh, this Wayfair deal came up, whatever." And I just make sure we have a line item or an item for every single line item needed. So as soon as the contract tells me, "Oh, we need the vanity now," I put in the order. And honestly, once the house is there, you're just buying stuff for the contractor, dropping by once or twice a week, just like approve things or ask for certain changes.
Mm.
Um,
Nice.
yeah, and then when the sale comes, I just have the agent that helped bring me the deal sell the deal as well because it incentivizes them to keep bringing me deals. And that once the sale is underway, then I don't really have to do much except sign papers and
Nice.
maybe have to do a few things, but that's the whole
Okay. Okay. So,
scenario.
so what I'm hearing, it's all about collaboration and all about networking, knowing people, and making sure you're utilizing those people and leveraging them. Basically, right? That's the key with any real estate, I would say.
Yeah, you can't
So,
do it alone. Yeah, you got to
yeah,
know
do it
people.
alone.
People
I
have to
mean,
let
that's the
you.
thing. We always keep saying, like, real estate is a teamwork, it's a team effort. It cannot. It's not a single man. It's not a one man show or a one gal show, right? It's got to be a team.
Definitely.
So so I love what you're doing. So once when you sell, so like I mean, when you're selling, does before you even buy, are you consulting with your agent that, hey, how much is this going to be selling for, or is it you just kind of go in there, or you already have that exit in mind?
Yeah. So when I underwrite before actually purchasing, I have my exit in mind
Okay.
rather conservatively. So, for example, on the first one, I told you I bought it for about 475. Me and the agent, and I don't think many agents are like this, but he works with investors a lot, so then he's pretty savvy with asking about
Numbers.
numbers and returns. But he was thinking like, oh, post sale probably like 725, and I was thinking 735, and that's just me going through Redfin and comparing myself,
Yeah.
and it ended up going with 767. So we were both conservative, which is great, and we underwrite with a conservative target in mind. I'd rather base case be predictable, and
Hmm.
I don't hope for upside. If the upside's there, great, but
Okay.
yeah.
Awesome.
Always gotta have the exit in mind. Yeah,
Always
Yeah,
have the exit in
absolutely.
mind. I love it.
Yeah.
yeah. Or else you don't know if you're gonna make money or not. Like before even buying it, I know probably how much I'm gonna make in the base case scenario. You know, and if it gets better, great. If it's lower, then at least I underwrote conservatively enough where I'm still probably green. Just
Sure.
depends how green. Yeah.
And when are you starting to look for a next deal? Like while this is still in construction, are you like waiting till it sells completely, and are you like kind of in the looks all the time?
Yeah, I think because I'm a beginner, I'm still trying to keep it slow. Right now, I have two ongoing projects, so I'm just kind of waiting
Okay.
for one to sell first, and then maybe start looking again. But
Okay.
the
I
more
like that.
experienced players I talk to, they're constantly looking and like constantly churning the next house, sell a house, buy a house. But
Hmm.
I think being a full time worker, that might be kind of hard to scale that
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
But
yeah.
who knows where the future goes, right?
No, but I love the fact you're taking action. That's what matters, and I think anybody listening, they really want to get started with real estate or flipping, fixing and flipping. I think it's what would you say? Like anybody can do it, right? They just need to make up their mind and just go take action, right?
Yeah, they just have to decide I want to do this, and it's fun too because you get to design a new home for someone, and then when you hear the feedback of people loving their new home, it makes you feel good too. It's not. I feel like fixing and flipping has a bad rap sometimes, but I think if you're just doing quality work with a family in mind, or your family in mind, then it'll sell well. And then as long
Right.
as you take action, you can do it. And even if you don't have the capital, that's what partners are for too. I just happen to have saved up the capital to start these projects myself, but I know
Love it.
people partner all the time.
Cool.
Cool, cool.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. That's great information, especially as a beginner. You started, and then you've got like 3 or 4 projects under your belt. That's very commendable.
Yeah, trying my best, trying to learn
Yeah.
more. Just happy to help people out. Yeah, as much as possible because I feel like more people need to learn about real estate just to be able to, either work less in the
Work.
trigger or
Right.
live how they want to live. Yeah.
No, I love it. I love it. You know, we as dentists, I mean, we fix teeth anyways, right? Now we just got to learn how to like flip it now.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, you know? Just
Right?
tooth
Yeah.
house, fixing it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, we're fixing up bad teeth, and you're just fixing up bad houses, right? So that's pretty much an analogy. No, man. Hey, I appreciate you coming along. That's so great. I would definitely recommend anybody having any questions. I mean, you're open to a few DMs in case if
No
somebody wants
problem.
to reach out. Okay, cool.
No, I'm more than happy to help anyone. I want everyone to benefit and everyone just to learn what they want.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what the group is for. So yeah, I mean, with that being said, hey, Michael, thanks for your time for coming on. I know you are working. It's Friday evening, and we're gonna be going from fixing to next one. We're gonna be doing it's retail shopping plaza, right, Tom?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we'll talk about that in the coming ones.
Oh, that'll be
All right,
good.
sounds yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. All right, cool deal. So we're gonna land the plane here. So guys, I know I'm not in the room today. I'm in my car. So with that being said, we'll see you guys next week. And everyone have a great weekend and see you guys soon.
All right, guys. Have a good weekend. Bye.
So
All right, take care.